as you know, and you'll be aware, have this story to cover. But Baroness, thank you very much indeed for coming on. Just to repeat the statement which the Metropolitan Police have issued in the last few minutes, and it is that officers have arrested a 72-year-old man on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He was arrested at an address in Camden today and has been taken to a London police station for interview. This follows search warrants at 2 addresses in the Wiltshire and Camden areas, and the pictures you can see there are Lord Mandelson being taken away by police officers outside his home in Camden. Right, let's bring in police commentator Graham Whettone. And Graham, it's almost deja vu, isn't it? I mean, it's the same allegations, quite a different arrest. I mean, but is the difference because they have already searched Peter Mandelson's homes, whereas with Andrew, no such searches had taken place?
Yeah, good evening, Mark. I would think so. People are getting this confused because it's the same offence, as in the same name type of offence, misconduct in public office. People seem to expect the same process or protocols to be applied by 2 different forces, and that's not always the case. They've clearly gone out and executed search warrants at Peter Mandelson's addresses in Camden and Wiltshire, but also then decided to arrest him. The arrest gives him the opportunity to do an interview at the police station while he's under arrest, or while he's detained. So he hasn't got the option of leaving the police station. The other alternative is to have people come in. We've seen this before in other instances or other cases, where they almost do like what's called a voluntary interview. They attend at a pre-arranged time with their solicitor, but you're told that if you do that process, that you're free to leave at any time. Whereas clearly, if you're under arrest, you are detained, you're not free to leave, and you have to then come into the interview and stay in the interview until the officers have concluded the interview. So this follows what I would think be a normal process for this type of investigation. They've clearly been looking and reviewing numerous documents and paperwork over a long period of time. They've now reached the next stage of the investigation, where they need to carry out further searches of premises owned and occupied by Peter Mandelson, and also to arrest him and bring him in for interview to speak to him about items they've already discovered, just to get some clarity in his account of what they've found so far.
And Graham, we made a lot on Thursday on the programme then about how Andrew was being treated effectively as a run-of-the-mill suspect, not a member of the royal family. Do we expect the same here, that Peter Mandelson will be treated in that way, not as a senior politician or former senior politician?
No, they're treated exactly the same way as other detainees. So they'll come into the police station, and people really pick up on the fact he's walking to the car himself. But he's got 2 detectives from the Met there walking alongside him. They've already assessed that he's not a threat to them, so he's not handcuffed. That'll be one thing I'm no doubt people pick up on. He's not been handcuffed. He's not a threat to them. He's not a risk to them. They put him in the car. They're going to transport him to a London police station. That may well have happened as well with Andrew. We didn't see images of Andrew's arrest or being taken to the police station. But that's happened with Peter Mandelson, taken out of his home address by 2 officers, placed into the vehicle. When he arrives at the police station, exactly the same booking in procedure. The facts of the arrest will be related to the custody officer. They'll authorise detention, tell him why he's been detained, the offence he's been investigated for, and then he will be read his rights the same as Andrew would have been. Right to a solicitor, right to have someone informed, and he can exercise those rights at any time while he's detained. If he's got a solicitor, he will then name his solicitor, and either he's contacted them already, or the custody officer or another detective will phone them and ask them to attend the police station. And he's also allowed to have somebody informed of his arrest if they haven't already been informed. So those same rights will be explained to him. He'll then go through a risk assessment process. He will then be searched. His personal property will be taken off him, bagged up and sealed in his presence, and then likely to maybe have fingerprint, photograph, DNA taken. That's normally done now as a process when you're booking in, as opposed to in my day as a custody officer, it was done at the point of charging. But police practices have changed slightly, so they tend to take those now, so they've got them already on file if they need them. He will then, if his solicitor is not already at the police station, likely to be placed in a cell waiting for his legal representative to arrive. So exactly the same process as any other detainee.
Well, it's interesting because Andrew was questioned for, I'm trying to think now, he was arrested at 7 or 8 in the morning, and then he didn't leave till, 7 or 8 in the evening. So most of the day. Now you've got Lord Mandelson being arrested in the early evening. I mean, is there a chance that he would have to spend the night in a cell?
You're right to highlight that. Yeah, there is. If they can't get him interviewed or aren't ready to interview him until what they would term to be a reasonable hour, as in has he been up all day? We don't tend to interview people in the early hours of the morning. We'll get to a period of time, say at 10 or 11 p.m. in the evening, and if we haven't interviewed them at that stage, they'll be put into a period of rest. So they'd be given a rest period. So they could actually spend the whole night detained at the police station and then interviewed tomorrow morning. So with the timing of this arrest, which is different to Andrew's, which was early in the morning, the police had all day then to interview him. And he was, as you're right to mention it, he then got released about 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. Peter Mandelson's arrest is very different. He's been arrested about 5 o'clock in the evening, taken to a London police station. If there isn't already a queue of people waiting to be booked in, because that can take an hour or two, he's unlikely to be booked in maybe for an hour or two. That puts us closer to 8 or 9 o'clock. They're not going to interview him much past, I would imagine, midnight, unless it's just literally interview him and then release him under investigation.
Is it likely this could be a shorter investigation because the searches of the properties have taken place already? I think they began searching the properties in early February the 5th or 6th, I think.
Yeah.
So, but with Andrew, you know, the searches have been ongoing in the last few days, certainly. Could it be a shorter investigation?
Well, it's possible that they've arrested him to bring him in just to carry out an initial interview under caution at the police station with his legal representatives. It may well be that they're already almost like ready to do the interview. So they've just got to bring him in. He will still be booked in, still be searched, but it may well be the detectives and possibly even his legal representative are already for an interview. So it could almost go straight into the police station and straight into an interview. And depending what stage the investigation is at, he could then be released under investigation. It depends, and we don't know enough details about the investigation. It depends at what stage they're at, what information they've got, the questions they've already got to put in they want to get either answers to or he's entitled to make no comment replies to them, or even have a prepared statement. But he will be allowed to have a consultation with his legal representative, and they will then decide whether they're going to answer questions, issue a prepared statement, or just make no comment. And it's up to the investigators then to decide what happens next.
Yeah, and just finally, Graham, I mean, this is an extraordinary situation. You've got Thames Valley Police who are investigating former Prince Andrew for misconduct in public office, and now you have the Metropolitan Police investigating a senior politician or former senior politician, or certainly a man who, when these allegations, what they relate to, sort of 2008, 2009, was right at the heart of the Downing Street operation.
Yeah, they're same offences, but I think very different circumstances or facts. So one's literally a government minister, other senior member of the royal family as a trade envoy, but clearly there's going to be some crossover at some point with some of the information that's been shared or passed on, but at the moment being dealt with very separately. My understanding is there is almost like a central investigation, central overview by the National Police Chiefs Council with all the forces involved in it. So forces that are looking at flights in and out the UK, trade envoys' role, ambassadors' role, details from government. So there will be some sort of central unit that will be overseeing all these, albeit we have, at the moment, we've got 2 separate police forces running almost like a similar type offence they are investigating with 2 different individuals.
Yeah. Graham, thank you very much for coming on once again. It doesn't seem that long ago since we were talking, but thank you very much indeed. Just to repeat what we know this evening, and it is that Lord Mandelson, Peter Mandelson, has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. The Metropolitan Police have said that a 72-year-old man was taken to a London police station for interview today. The former Labour minister has been accused of passing sensitive information, really, onto the paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein during Mandelson's time as business secretary, and this follows 2 of his properties previously being searched by police in connection with the allegations, which surfaced, like the allegations against Andrew Mountbatten